Thank you for joining us for our second video in the KEGEL Pin Setter Parts Awareness series. I'm very excited to talk to you today about a very innovative performance enhancing kit that KEGEL has released in conjunction with a very brilliant mechanic out in the field named Chuck Bashak. He's part of our mechanic partnership program. And this performance kit is called the Deviator. This kit will allow you to remove the original OEM ball wheel belt tensioning assembly, reinstall this in the machine, and give that pin setter the exact amount of belt tension that's needed to rotate that ball wheel and move that pit conveyor. Through the rest of this video, you're going to see the benefits, not only in additional parts that this is going to help out with, but the longevity as well. So stay tuned. We're going to show you how it works. In this example, we can see the normal routing procedure for a Brunswick ball wheel belt. For many years, it has gone unchanged. We have a tension spring that applies downward motion of the idler pulling arm to the ball wheel belt, thus allowing that to go back up and wrap around the jack shaft drive pulley. For many years, we've been asking ourselves, do we really need that much tension? All we're trying to achieve is sending a ball up the lift rods and making sure that the pins come off of the pit conveyor. Any other tension beyond that is unnecessary and detrimental to a lot of the parts on the machine, whether it's the guide wheel rollers themselves, whether it's premature stretching of the actual ball wheel belt. But there's another byproduct from this. When we have unnecessary tension in this application, and we get a bowling pin in front of a bowling ball as it's either traveling up the lift rods, or a pin gets caught in between the pick cushion shot, the ball wheel, and the kickback, the ball wheel does not stop moving. And as you're about to see, it will do extreme damage to a bowling ball 99% of the time, which ends up in replacement to the customer. Now, most of us have seen this exact picture before, and usually it's too late. And this is actually what happens when you do have unnecessary tension on that ball wheel belt. Now we've just ground away a $200 bowling ball. This will not happen with the Deviator. Here we can see a Brunswick pin setter with a KEGEL Deviator fully installed. This is exactly how you receive the Deviator upon delivery. You're basically going to remove the two 3/16 18 bolts that protrude through your C-section and into your shaft on your OEM assembly, and pull the whole assembly out. You're going to remove your large spring that creates that initial OEM tension, and you're going to install the Deviator as it was shipped to you. This is your belt tensioning arm. This is what's going to allow you to get just enough tension that's needed to rotate the ball wheel and move the pit. We like to see this typically in between 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock, depending on the age of your belt, how much it's stretched. You may have to increase a little bit more tension, maybe go down to 4 or 5 o'clock. But what this is going to essentially do is put the ball wheel belt in a more round and natural position. This is going to help prevent some of the cracking that develops due to that OEM style routing. It's also going to release a lot of pressure on your guide wheel rollers, because you don't have so much pressure that it's actually lifting your ball wheel into the guide wheel rollers. And more importantly, if you do get that bowling pin in front of a bowling ball situation, as we showed you in the previous clip, you're not going to damage that bowling ball. Here we're going to reenact what we did earlier in the video, except the difference in this situation is obviously we're using a different bowling ball, and we also have a Deviator installed on this specific pin setter. Now what's going to happen here is as soon as the bowling ball meets an obstruction, which in this case is a pin, it's going to create unnecessary friction against the ball wheel itself. Because we're only utilizing the amount of tension needed to drive a ball up the lift rods under normal circumstances, anything abnormal as is the case here, is not going to allow that ball wheel to move, and it's not going to allow that pit to go back and forth. Now we can see that the ball wheel is completely stationary. And very little tension. As you can see, I just lightly push the ball down, remove the pin, back in the pin setter.